Hey, welcome back, guys. Tuning in on this edition of Common Thoughts from a Common Man. I thought I would go back and maybe give you a little bit of an insight to how they got started and my perspective, my view about things, which is primarily about me. This came to me, this title anyway, came to me a while back when I was in the Air Force. And after I thought about me, just realizing, or trying to come to a realization who I was. I thought about me as a whole. I thought about me because I thought I was just pretty much a common guy. Not the smartest guy, definitely not a stupid guy, a dumb guy. I had like some intelligence there, but I knew people that were smarter than I was. Common size, average size. Always wanted to be 6'5", but 5'10". But just average in a lot of ways. I knew a whole lot of people that were smarter. My buddies, Levan, Kenan, Ephraim, Leon, they were smarter, I thought. Pretty much all smarter than me. I even thought, but Ephraim probably looked better than I did. But I never let that get to me because your perception is somebody else's reality. And you can't think of yourself as lesser than anybody else because you're going to show it. It's going to show through in some ways. And you don't want people seeing you in that respect. You want them to see you in high regard, just like everybody else, or whatever, maybe a little bit step ahead of somebody else. But I saw myself as just an average guy. Even in my family, I thought my sister, Pat and Jenny, I thought were smarter. I think Pat was even salutatory in high school. She was always, I thought, a step ahead anyway, just smarter, always had ambition and just desire to succeed in anything she was doing. And my sister, little sister, Les, I thought she was, and all of us were, but again, it was of degrees. But for me, it was just average. But one attribute I think I did have, where other people didn't have, was I decided I was going to use whatever I had. Maybe it wasn't the same. Maybe my intellectual capacity wasn't quite there as some other people, but regardless, I was going to use it because you don't get the chance to make a decision. It's like to size or height or weight maybe, but height, that's not a choice. You don't get an opportunity to decide what you're going to be. It's chosen for you already. Everything's chosen for you primarily about physical size, and I mean, you can increase your intelligence maybe, but as far as being here, your ethnicity, primarily what your beliefs are. If you were born in Pakistan, if you were born in Pakistan, if you were born in Israel, you were born in Thailand, if you were born in China, you was born anywhere outside the U.S., maybe in the Middle East, you'd have a different perspective about religion. I don't like calling Christianity a religion, but in this regard, you know what I'm saying. But you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice in your parents. You don't have a choice in your birth year, the location. None. You are here. At one point in your life, you come to the realization that you have a life. But this is a great life because you were here for a reason. You have a purpose. But you have to realize there's something special about this life. Same thing about me. There's nobody else that looks like me. Take that back. Maybe there's somebody that looks like me, but there's only me. I'm unique, just like you're unique. There may be people that resemble you and maybe the same size in every way, but no, there's only one you. you're unique in that regard. So, and pretty much everything you do, everything about you is unique, because your thinking is different than somebody else's, which I know mine is. But you didn't have a choice in where you are. But some people, unfortunately, think that they do. They have a superiority maybe because their ethnicity is above everybody else's. And I always question that. I can't think of how they could think that way when there are no negotiations. There are no suggestions. You are here and that's it. You don't get a say-so in the matter. You don't get a chance to choose. You are placed with specific parents that you were supposed to be placed with. Your birth was supposed to be in a certain country, a certain location. That's it. And you go with that. But again, just to base upon that, some people feel like they do. They are superior. They're a step ahead of everybody. And they are a step ahead. I mean, in some cases, I'll admit they definitely are. You have an advantage. So by having that advantage, you better take every opportunity of that advantage and go with it, because you do have it. You do. Some people are the oppressed, and some people have a whole lot more. They are the ones in the positions to have the power and make a whole lot of decisions affecting other people. But still, you didn't have any say-so about that, about your beginnings. But for me, I tried to take everything I had in a positive direction. Never thought that nothing was ever going to be, I wouldn't have an opportunity to be whatever I wanted to be, regardless. I thought that I never considered myself as, because I was black, that some things I couldn't do. Even though I knew this country and knew there were not equal in everything, primarily, but I never let that hold me back. I never thought along those lines. I figured whatever I want to get, I'm going to get it regardless, because there is a way, and I will find out, and I will execute a plan to get me to where I want to go. Because that's pretty much me. I try to go back and make a plan, have a strategy, go back and be able to look forward and have a primary target of what I want and execute my plan. That's one of the things I always like doing. And just being prepared for everything you can. You're not going to be prepared for everything, but you got to put yourself out there thinking that you have the ability to do whatever it takes to get you to where you want to be, from point A to point B on to point C. But because we're special, and we start off as special, I think we forget about that. When we were sperm, all of the sperms, and we had to fight to get to that egg. I remember my fight. I remember looking around and seeing God and seeing the egg and saying, hey, what is that? Not knowing what it is, but just my curiosity saying, I got to get there. And saw all these other knuckleheads around thinking, well, I can beat these knuckleheads. This little two-headed knucklehead guy was right. I know he ain't going to make it. Just joking, but I made it. Your very first challenge, I won. And you did too, because if you hadn't have made it, you'd have no life. You'd be wherever people are, I don't know, and you don't know either. People who didn't make that, they weren't born. So you had an opportunity to be a part of this unique life and this special life, this great life, because it is. But I think, I understand what people feel like. There ain't nothing special about this life, because you've been under the gun, you've been oppressed all this time, not given opportunities. We know this is black people. We know this already. But it is. So some people just give up because their environment that they were born into, you didn't see a whole lot of opportunities. You just saw, how am I going to get out of here and do something, or just, I'm going to go along with what's here now, whatever everybody else is doing, that's what I'm going to do, whether it's illegal or whatever. I got to live and I'm going to make it. But for me, it wasn't like that, of course. And my buddies, because we had each other to give us inspiration and guidance and to be inspired. And that was part of the whole thing. You got friends out there that have the same desires as you do, and all it is to make something of themselves, to put them a step above where they are now. That's what you got to have. And that's what I had. I mean, friends from first grade that really, being around them, talking about issues and talking about ourselves and our plans for the future and how we want to, where we want to go, what we want to do. How are we going to get past where we are now to something better? That was always a discussion, besides those other things we discussed, which were girls, cars, music, and sports. Those were the major subjects. But once you got past those, you start thinking seriously about yourself and what you wanted to do. And so that always helped me and keep me guided. But then again, as I said, my family was pretty much like that too. I mean, even finishing high school, nobody ever talked about not graduating from high school. That was a given. You know that everybody's going to graduate. It's just what you're going to do afterwards. But so that was also part. But I just had this desire to be something, to do something. I always thought there was something out there for me that was going to get me to where I wanted to be, because I thought I was special. I thought I was unique, and there will be something out there offers me, that presents an opportunity for me to excel and go. I knew education was one. I had to get it. I had to be there to make that first step in that right direction. So at least I'll be prepared for. I have the skills out there. People couldn't say if I went to an employer, well, do you have a degree or what do you have? I would have it. Even when I finished my bachelor's, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to go get this graduate degree, and I'm going to get it in B school or MBA, because I don't want anybody telling me that I don't have enough education. So I was able to do that. And but still, you're still in this life, and it's not easy. And you got to go out there every day and strive to move forward. But the other part is that when you know that you're in this life and there's something, you have purpose in this life, you're not thrown into this life to be nothing, to go any place, to go no place. That doesn't even make sense. Why are you born and placed in a life to just do nothing? That makes no sense, and that's not real. It is. You have a purpose and something that you are intended to do, but you got to find out what it is. You got to know. You got to prepare yourself to be able to go back and figure out, what is this? What am I here for? What am I supposed to do? Because all of us have that purpose. Everybody born, there is a purpose, and we're also part of this clique, these links, this nexus. We are together, which I will talk about in a different video. It's a whole new subject matter. But you have a purpose. You have a reason for being. But some people, I understand, some people have it's harder for a lot of us to get there and understand that concept, because their environment is just full of detriments and problems, and never seeing anybody get past the daily aggravations of non-opportunities and nowhere to go but where they are now. And of course, that wasn't the case for me and my family and my friends. So we always thought there was something out there, just a matter of preparation and how we're going to get there. But again, the other part is that you got to prepare yourself, and you got to be able to have those goals, and have an objective of what you want to do. So anyway, I think I pretty much covered some of the basic things I wanted to discuss today. But there are so many other issues out there that I have. 'Cause I don't think I said this. I know I did say it, but I started writing a book back in 2019, back in December. And I thought initially I would get to maybe 200 pages. But this thing has escalated and grown to over 400 pages. And that's which is pretty much the reason why I started to do these videos, because some of these subjects I didn't think I would include, and some were just excerpts from the book, which hasn't been published. I'm still editing it, but editing is taking a long time, because when you read something, every time you read it, I think about something else I want to add into it. So it's just extended this process of editing. But these videos are just some of the things I thought about while writing, and they wouldn't be included because they were short, and other things, other topics, they're there, but instead of courses in a written format, and I'm only giving a little short excerpt about the basics of the what I'm attempting to discuss. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hit the subscribe button, at least give me a thumbs up that you like it, and I'll be back with you soon again, as soon as I put this next one together. And so until that time, you guys be safe and have fun.